black and dark. Now Shire's reign leaves its mark from the world above. They fall to me through endless realms. I set them free. Keeper of souls, elven dread. My throne forged in shades of red. I am the keeper, the one who remains through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will, in the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain, bound to shadows unafraid. Rise, rise from the void and flame, a god reborn, never the same. Electric pulse in rhythm and sound, bound to the earth, yet unbound. Keeper of shadows, ruler of none, eternal watch till all are one. From life to death, through endless flight, I hold the souls within my sight. Rise from the poles below, ancient echoes in the afterglow. Once a god, now bound by fate, in shadows deep I lie and wait. Elven blood, dark cast the night, in realms unseen I hold the light. Soul strip by, lost and cold, in my hands the story's told. Elven blood, dark cast the night, in realms unseen I hold the light. Soul stripped by, lost and cold, in my hands the story's told. I am the keeper, the one who remains through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will, in the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain, bound to shadows unafraid. Rust and echoes, wires and gears, silent witness through the years. They call my name in the black and dark. Now Shire's reign leaves its mark from the world above. They fall to me through endless realms. I set them free. Keeper of souls, elven dread. My throne forged in shades of red. I am the keeper, the one who remains through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will, in the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain, bound to shadows unafraid. Rise, rise from the void and flame, a god reborn, never the same. Electric pulse in rhythm and sound, bound to the earth, yet unbound. Keeper of shadows, ruler of none, eternal watch till all are one. From life to death, through endless flight, I hold the souls within my sight. Rise from the poles below, ancient echoes in the afterglow. Once a god, now bound by fate, in shadows deep I lie and wait. Elven blood, dark cast the night, in realms unseen I hold the light. Soul strip from the world above, they fall to me. Through endless realms I set them free. Keeper of souls, elven dread, my throne forged in shades of red. I am the keeper, the one who remains. Through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will, in the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain, bound to shadows unafraid. Rise from the void and flame, a god reborn, never the same. Electric pulse in rhythm and sound, bound to the earth, yet unbound. Keeper of shadows, ruler of none, eternal watch till all one. From life to death, through endless flight, I hold the souls within my sight.
All right. Good evening, everybody. How is everyone doing this wonderful and overly hot Wednesday? What can I say? Oh, hold on. Give me one sec here. I need to change something. Damn it. Here, yes. I think it's general settings. I think that's it. That's what I wanted, was with that one there. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, I don't need a hotkey for that. I just want it on all the time. Okay. What can I say? VC face is great, but it isn't perfect. What can I say? Anyways, that being said, welcome to the stream. It is Wednesday. It is bloody hot outside. So I hope everyone's been staying cool and hydrated because, yeah, it's been a day. Now, I know some places are going to be hotter than others. Yeah, we're not here to say, oh, it was hotter here where I was. Well, yeah, it's hot no matter where you go right now, unfortunately. On the plus side, it should be cooling down here tonight, and it means tomorrow's going to be cooler. Thunderstorms were supposed to rip through the area. I could see them. They came nowhere the fuck close to where I am, so who knows? Yeah, so that's the thing. So in terms of heat, it was 38 degrees Celsius in my car when I left the office today. So 100.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Good thing I have air conditioning. When that finally took over, it was much better. All right. So I'm going to pop back into Final Fantasy here. Now, I was contemplating playing my main and just kind of messing around doing dailies and that kind of stuff, but I also want to get Mel through to Heavensward. What I'm probably going to do is once I reach the start of Heavensward, I think I'm going to stop Final Fantasy XIV again for a bit because I've got a bunch of other games coming up that are going to be, well, we all know Super Robot Wars is coming up, and that's going to demand a shit ton of my time. But on top of which, I'm probably also going to, when I'm done Super Robot Wars, play on Wednesdays. I think I'm going to do one of the Tales games. Not sure which one though. I may carry on with Tales of Xillia 1 because I know I started a playthrough on that. That was last year. It's been a while. But yeah, carry on with that, and yeah, maybe go from that to Xillia 2, then Vesperia. We'll see. We will see how that plays out. Because I still am going to do robot games on Sunday and Tuesday. After playing Super Robot Wars Y, which I might actually do 2 playthroughs of. Because as usual, they're going to have 2 main characters. They're going to have a female and male lead. I will play through as one and play through as the other. Probably going to play it on the highest standard difficulty. Because, let's face it, I'm certainly not a noob when it comes to those games. But the second playthrough is going to benefit from being a New Game Plus. So, who knows? We'll see how that pans out. Because if they add an extra difficulty to it, like there's like Super Expert mode that they added to Super Wars 30. So I may do that. We'll see. Haven't really thought that far ahead yet, because I know Super Robot Wars Y is probably going to total between 80 to 100 hours. And I say this because it looks like they're using a similar structure to what they used for Super Robot Wars 30, which was by no means a short game. And I think after I finish Super Robot Wars Y, I'm going to go back and play Super Robot Wars V. Is V the first one? I think V was the first one on PS4. Actually, do I want to do V first, or do I want to do OG first? You know what? Fuck it. We'll do OG. We'll go, and I'll get my hands on a GBA cart, and we're going to play. I have the GBA carts for 1 and 2. So we're going to play OG 1 and OG 2. And yeah, those games are hard as fuck. And by hard as fuck, I mean, we're talking old school hard as fuck. There's one mission in particular in OG2 that I actually kind of dread going back to playing to this day. That mission gave me fucking nightmares. Especially on hard mode. On normal, it was a pain in the ass. On hard mode, it was a nightmare. Anyways, I'm rambling. So we're gonna get into Final Fantasy 14 here, because we're not really here to talk about Super Robot Wars or anything else. We're here to do Final Fantasy. You know what? I'm delaying. And I know I'm delaying because I know what's happening next, and it is probably one of the worst parts of this game. All right, let's go. We can do this. We got this. All right, Alphino. Let's get your harebrained idea underway. On the plus side, this particular arc in the story that I'm going through does have some pretty solid characters in it. Let's go to the Drowning Winch, because that is not the most safe for stream name. Do. Also, if the game is quiet, please let me know. Also, I heard Ellie just a moment ago. I wonder if she's going to come in and announce her presence. Yeah. Who in the bloody hills do you think you're talking to, Drylander? Yeah. Yeah, we knew you weren't going to want to join. You know, you're a pirate captain. You're not going to want to leave that behind and join a stateless faction. Recruiting a guildmaster? Yeah, not the best idea. All right, and okay, so we are. Oh yeah, okay. This is the worst part of this expansion, by the way. All this running around. Some of it's worse than others. There are a lot of quests where it's like, hey, I need you to deliver this to this person, and it's like you just turn to the right and they're standing right there. Why can't you just do it yourself? Good old Real. He is probably one of the best parts of this art, this particular story arc. Definitely one of the least exciting parts of this. But once it's done, it's done. I don't have to do this particular run ever again. Really? I think the other UPSing you have to do later in the game is a lot more exciting than this. And yes, there is definitely more UPSing. You know, classic trope of MMOs. They should just call it MPSing, the MMO Postal Service. Oh, right. Yeah, he's up here. I heard Ellie. No, she's not coming in. She's just fussing. Yeah, let's go talk to the head of the Marauders Guild. I think in each city I get one recruit, maybe two. Airship landing, right. Do. Yeah, you're going to take the airship. I'm just going to Aetheryte myself there. And yet somehow he's going to arrive there before me. Teleportation. Actually, the slowest form of transportation in all of Final Fantasy. Who'd have thought? All right. Now, there aren't too many people here that I can recruit. I know that. Oh, they want me to talk to the old guy. All right, let's start here. Hey, it's Laurentius. This fucker. Yeah, you were also an Imperial spy. I'm surprised they let you out of prison. Well, do we trust that he's a reformed man? I think you already know the answer to that question. However, Alianne and Isildur, these are the two guys that I like from Gridania. I like the fact that her grandfather, Isildur, wanted to go on further adventures before he passed away. And he had been an adventurer in his youth, so he had told stories to Alianne. And when the time came, she decided to go with him as his adventuring companion. It's actually a really sweet story. And the only way you find out about that is by actually talking to the two of them every time you see them. And they don't show up all the time. They actually only show up during certain quest lines. Yeah. And she actually mentions the last time you crossed paths was was when you went to Copperbell Mines. So you actually met them before that at Sastasha, and then you went from there to Copperbell. And that was the last time you run into these two. But if you talked to them both times, they elaborate on their story. And then you run into Isildur again later. Was he with Alianne as well? I forget. I mean, I know Alianne actually accepts your invitation to join this grand company that Alphino's putting together, so you do see a lot more of her. So, of course, she wants to see him safely home because, it's her grandfather. My back is perfectly fine, I tell you. You'll have to tie me to my bed if you think you're going to prevent me from... Ow, well, mayhaps I will rest for a short while. Hey, Gally. That poor old dude. Chronic back pain. I know what that's like. The joys of being, old. Says the android. Yeah. Yeah, you see... Just because I'm a god doesn't mean I can do that. Even we get old. It just takes a long time. All right, back to the airship landing. Flexible parts for the win. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a benefit to that, not gonna lie. I mean, on the flip side, as long as the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, or as I like to call it, the great cycle, needs me, it just keeps me going. So, there's that. When it stops needing me, then I'm in trouble. A former wood whaler in a season. Yeah, I'm not telling you which wood whaler that is, by the way, because if I did, you'd tell me to tell him to fuck right off. And I know you would, Alphino. Do 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 do. Do do. Ooh, the night music. I like the night music here. It's nicely relaxing. I forget who I get to join me here. But anyone from Uldai would not... Oh, right. No, I know who I get. Nope, doesn't... Not here. Alright, let's start at the Gladiators Guild. I'll get Yu Hase. Oh, and that's Wildred. I get him too. Wildred, you've prepared yourself to fight the evil that you know is out there. I hate to break it to you. There's also evil you don't know is out there. Again, I will say no more on the subject. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't join, but that's okay. Oh, yeah. Now I have to go talk to the lady with absolutely no fashion sense. You want to recruit me? Is this some new-fashioned manner of propositioning a lady? Yeah, it's gonna be a while. Okay, so first I need to talk to this guy. No worries. Sad thing is, he's actually closer to correct than I care. I'm assuming Galley has air conditioning. Oh, looks like I called it. Also, welcome aboard, Nitchies. How you doing? Also, for anyone who's currently lurking, give Galley a follow. She also streams, well, she generally tends to streams on a lot of the days that I'm not. So, if you want someone who is entertainingly sarcastic, definitely the person you want to follow. Galley is quite good at that. See, Nitchies is going the psychological route. He's psyching out his brain to thinking that, what he's experiencing is hotter than it actually is. It is supposed to cool down tomorrow, though, so it's not supposed to be quite as hot as it is today. Honestly, I wish my roommates listened to me, because I did tell them that we should probably get central AC installed in the house. I mean, on one hand, I kind of get why we didn't, because this house is absolutely terrible at keeping in the heat during the winter, keeping the heat out during the summer. But something's better than nothing at this point in time. I think you have the benefit of being on the island. I think it might be a little cooler where you are than it is on the mainland. You were concerned by the syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. Alphino? I'm going to slap the shit out of you right now. We all know exactly what happens here. It's not that he sucks at numbers. He sucks at reading names. It's not the numbers. It's the names. Names and numbers combine. By your powers combined, I am anti-Alphino. Thinking is his kryptonite, by the way. He gets better at it later. I will stand by that. But for the first half of this game, thinking is absolutely his kryptonite. Logic? What's that? You know what I think part of it is? Is that at this point in the game, he lacks any sense of self-awareness as a character. Yeah, LSA is allergic to thinking.
What think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
But she's certainly not allergic to acting.
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation. Yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve.
Well, it doesn't need to achieve much good, it just needs to take the pressure off. That's it. That's all it has to do. It doesn't need to have some grand scale or scope. It just needs to take a bit of the pressure off of you guys. But no.
With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong.
And again, everyone has too high of a standard and expectation of what this thing should be, Alphino included. Grand, lofty ideals. The problem is that he never started out at the foundational level. There's Ellie.
Does it not
Hi, Ellie.
concern you that a significant proportion of its
Hi.
financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms
Come here.
forged this
Hi.
extraordinary gathering of
Yeah, I
warriors
know why
into
you're
a
here.
private
Hi.
army.
Hi, cat. Yeah, I know. You're now in my lap and purring. You're happy. You were also going to overheat the fuck out of my legs. But whatever. Small sacrifice to pay for a happy cat. Do. Yep. Hi, cat. Oh, those are some big purrs I'm getting out of you.
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies.
There's a reason why Lolorito had no hand in it. He's not the one you need to worry about.
And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the warrior of light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Kalechi?
There we go. She's finally saying it.
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
I could comment, but I'm not going to.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
I mean, you just want to hug her. And, like, pat her head and tell her it'll be okay. Right. Rising Stone, so I don't need to be here. Bye, cat. God. You being on my lap for a few minutes and I was already sweating there. All right. See, you know what I actually really hate about this particular story arc when Alphino's plan gets in like full swing? It's the fact that you basically become his bitch. Well, in Endwalker, you're not. Technically, in Shadowbringers, you're not either. You're just someone else's, that's all. You pass hands. No, that's Dawn Trail. I wasn't going to go there. Yeah, in Shadowbringers, you're the Exarch's bitch. I guess in Stormblood, you still serve Alphino a lot. But I would say Hien more than anyone. In Endwalker, I'm not sure. With Endwalker, I really don't know. I mean, you basically become the errand person for Charlene and Endwalker. And the Loporits. I now have to go deal with a missing shipment. Oh, heretics. Okay. Oh, yay. Time to go deal with House Forton. Yeah, the moment you stop being Highland's errand person, you end up becoming Wooklomats. I much preferred being Highland's. At least Highland was, awesome. Yeah, I know. I can probably just teleport to Camp Dragon. I'm just gonna fly there. I'm here. Yeah, I should unlock the hard modes of those dungeons, but I'll do it later. I've always liked this song. Makes me want to play Final Fantasy VI again. No, the timing of my arrival is no mere coincidence.
The incident with the New Frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Forton does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts.
I remember the first time I saw this guy's name. And until you hear someone say it, it's one of those names where you're looking at it like, how the fuck? I mean, it was like Harchefant. It's like, no, it's Hochefant.
'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name.
Yeah, we're getting into this particular stretch of the game too. Okay, this actual, like, this subplot, I like. I do like this subplot that we got here.
What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Virginia. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait?
Yes, I'll just punch them in the face, like I always do.
Blessings be upon you. Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much
Dragons,
for my house
bandits,
in the past.
heretics.
I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long.
If it has a face or something like a face, I will and I can and will punch it. That's all I need.
Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Oh yeah, I've got my Chockabro. You know what? Let's go Chockabro. Battle chicken, let's go. I need to make a better barding for my Chocobo. Well, when you have a bunch of religious zealots and someone who claims themselves to be a saint made flesh, yeah, I don't think I need to elaborate much further than that. All right, looks like we're going to have ads starting here pretty shortly here. So I think I shall wait for them to start before I get too invested into much else here. All right, I'm actually going to take that moment to go grab some more things to drink, and yeah. So bathroom break time, guys, and get drinks because it's fucking hot out. Hydrate yourselves, guys. So I go pick up drinks. Also back. And I tell my roommate's 9-year-old kid, I'm like, God, my room is fucking hot. And he just starts laughing at me. I'm like, why are you laughing, dick? Ugh. Alright. Return to Snowcloak. It's all they needed to know. Which means Snowcloak should be coming up fairly soon. I don't even know how this thing fits in here. Oh, All right, I don't need to talk to you. That's right. Maybe I shouldn't be piloting an airship when drunk. Yeah. Iceheart, definitely one of the waifus of Heavensward. Hilda being the other one. Yeah, it's not like she exactly actually seemed to blend in with the surroundings, but still. All right. So, this guy, Drillamon, when I first read his name, I read his name as Drillermon. Yay, Digimon names, let's go. Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice before for long. It's like, well, you know what? It will shield them long enough. Yeah, 8 quests to Snowcloak. Hopefully I can get through them quickly.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart?
What did I learn of Iceheart? Fuck and all.
Indeed. And this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action.
He's talking about Daddy Aymeric. And yes, Aymeric is the only person in this entire game that I will, without shame, call Daddy.
Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche.
Nishis gets it. So, also, remember, I played through this as a female character, and there's that one scene where he just gives you the eyes.
On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Alright, I am just going to teleport to Revenant's Toll here. To hell with walking. Hold on. You know, I think I'm going to grab that. Because that's going to come in handy later. Oh, Tataru. How do the Scions will ever have matching uniforms? A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. About that. There's you, Hase. I want to punt you so hard you become a smear on the wall. He's a potato. I like how if you stand here long enough, these guys actually start talking. I forget which one it is. One of them starts out with saying, "I can see clearly now," and then or "I can see clearly," and then another one says, "Now the rain has gone," or "Now that the rain has gone." It's like, yeah, seeing that just. Hey, Ilbird. Another person I want to punt so hard that they smear against the wall. But you're a lot bigger than a potato. Hey, there's Eliane. I like her. It's real. The best member of this company that we're setting up absolutely is real. Is it behind here? Yeah. Femi. You don't see too much of her. And you're the last one to get your uniform. You know, if I was the barkeep, seeing all these mounts come charging through my door, I would lose my shit. And could you imagine the kind of wear and tear on the floor half this shit would cause? Oh yeah, you get the people in there with their behemoths. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't want to be anywhere near that one.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea.
Wait, they're not all in uniform. I see people not wearing hats. Whee! Put your hats on.
this moment forth, I declare you crystal braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
You know, I've always kind of hated their salute.
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
I am glad to say, though, that this is the worst that the voice acting gets. It gets so much better after this.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well?
Well, here's the better question. Did they have the heart of Sabik? Because as far as I know, that's the only way to cast that spell. I mean, there are other spells similar to it.
Have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidel's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Mm-hmm. Dum dum dum. Never trust men in giant funny hats. So when I first started playing this game way back when, this was the patch content that was out at the time. By the time I caught up to here, because it took for bloody ever to get here, Heaven's Word was already out. Yeah, I remember back then leveling, because even if you did all the side quests, it was still possible to level lock yourself. And that would happen every, like, 2 or 3 levels. So it would take so much longer. Alright, let's go see what Alpha No needs. Little bird. Alright, now I get to go deal with the ill bird. Thancred's bored. He's just throwing his, like, he's juggling his knife over there.
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence.
I tell you in the strictest confidence, in an area where anyone can listen in, and there's a bunch of people around. in an open room. You know what? I think I'm overthinking it.
Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies.
Oh fuck this quest line.
Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge. But we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root.
So, one, this quest chain used to be a lot longer.
Much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
So the issue I have with the way they had done the quest shortening and the removal of certain quests is the person that you go to apprehend when you apprehend them. You used to actually have a lot of quests for them that you would do, so you actually got to know them just through the quests that you did. You got a sense of how important that they actually were as a character. That, unfortunately, is no longer the case.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Roban. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you, the honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye, we've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, No sooner did you reach Thanaland than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah, spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher.
Raubon's not wrong, at least.
You sell yourself short. By all accounts, you were an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
Sudden shift in tone.
I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you've also got a city of such extremes in terms of wealth and poverty, it really doesn't take much to grease some palms. When people are desperate.
But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first?
Alright. Well, to that I can already say no. The monetarists may be sacks of shit, but they're not about to sell out to the Empire.
Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Raubon's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
I like how you're called a Scion, but you're actually not really. I mean, you kind of are, but you aren't. You mean you don't have an Archon's mark? Yeah, because I think it's right around here that I would actually have other quests to do for the person who I actually find out is the Ivy. And there was other things that you had to do for them before, during the Realm Reborn part of the storyline, if I'm remembering correctly. Now, don't get me wrong. In terms of how much longer it made these quest chains. I am glad that they got rid of those quests, but at the same time, it does damage some of the impact of the story. The same thing happens to another character. And the triangle. Okay. Yeah, Gally, I don't know if I'm going to actually get to Snowcloak in time. Yeah, I mean, these quests are stupidly long. Well, yeah, I mean, of course I'm going to yap. You know I like yapping, so of course I'm going to yap. Alright, we're down over here. Alrighty. Well, you have a good night, and I will catch up with you later. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out for as long as you could. I will annoy you at work tomorrow. Alright, and up we go. They did not build those very well. The fact that I can punch them apart. There he goes, and that should be everybody. Whee! And now to go talk to everybody down here, then go back and talk to Ilberd. I think. Time to go talk to Alphino. Yay! We saved a Mikote. Ooh. I think I get to see Daddy Aymeric. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Yep. It's Daddy Aymeric, all right. I forget if this bit's voice acted or not, but whoever his VA is really good. At least he is in Heaven's Ward. I don't remember this bit. Alright, I have to go talk to Minfilia. Also, you forgot the other waifu from Heaven's Ward. You forgot Lucia. And personally, I rank Lucia above Iceheart. Technically, Iceheart is also taken, but in a very strange way. Well, they're supposedly identical. Well, there's a reason why they're reaching out now, because they know they can secure your aid. Here be dragons. Theocratic state. I wonder how well that's going to work out. You actually do find out more about why they left the Alliance and why they turned inwards. And when you do, it makes sense. But at the same time, seriously dick move. Alright, off to go see Hoshafant and get introduced to Daddy Aymeric. You know, as taken as Lucia is, given the kind of given the bedroom eyes Aymeric gives you, I don't think he'd be against that. Just saying. He seems very open-minded, if you will. Well, in the current state, I wouldn't want to join their country. Their country's kind of shit. Now, later on, sure. Given the kind of work that we put into dealing with all this stuff, not only should I, not only would I be willing to join their country, they should just give me a spot. I don't need the money. Just give me a home. Fuck your housing lottery. Just for all the effort I put in, or that I will put into saving this place, just give me a house. You can afford it. All right, we're going to have ads here in a moment.
My friend, you need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go into BRB while we wait for ads to finish, and then we'll carry on right from here. All right, let's just hang out here. I just had to step away for a moment, but, we got, what, 2.5 minutes? So, one thing I'd mentioned at the start of stream, I know a few people missed it. When I finally get to Heavensward, I'm actually going to shelve Final Fantasy XIV for a little bit. Regardless of whether or not I'm currently playing Super Robot Wars Y. Chances are I will reach Heavensward before the launch of that game because it's almost 2 months from now. But instead, what I'll do is I will start playing through, or continuing my playthrough of Tales of Xillia. It will require a bit of recap because I definitely got a little ways into the game, and I will carry on with that on Wednesdays when once I hit Heavensward, because I do, as much as I like Final Fantasy XIV, I've played this game for so long I need to take breaks from it. Now, there is an exception to that. And the exception to that is if I can get more people to play. Because time and again, and what usually ends up happening is I put a lot of time and effort into the game, and I put a lot of time and effort to convincing people to play. And usually it's I'll play later, I'll play later, I'll play later. And then by the time they come around to playing it, I've burnt out. So, I mean, it happens. It's no one's fault in particular. It's the usual cycle that I go through with this game. So what I'm doing instead is, instead of trying to convince people to play, I'm just going through the quest line myself. And, every major expansion or post-patch content, I'm going to stop and take a break and then do something else, then come back to this. It will take a long time for me to reach the end of Final Fantasy XIV, I know. But you know what? That's fine. It's a long story, it's a long game, and it's a good story. But it's also a game that, like I said, I've been playing this game for so long, I can only take so much of it for so long before I have to put it down and do something else. I do like the changes they've made to this, though. I may be complaining about the fact that they don't really expound on certain characters much, or they don't give you a lot of time with certain characters that you find are pivotal to the story. At least at that point in time. But here's the thing. And this is the hard pill to swallow. The shit I'm dealing with right now in the game doesn't matter. Some of it does, but a lot of it is not important. And that was a tough pill to swallow much later into the series, because I'm just like, why the hell did I waste all this time? And you really start feeling it come Shadowbringers. Because the actual story of Final Fantasy XIV really seems to start at the start of Heavensward. There is some stuff that happens prior to that does flow through and follow through. But by and large, the stuff you do up to that point, it doesn't matter. All right. Back we go. There's Daddy Aymeric. And Lucia.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you.
I like his voice.
I am Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
I'm going to say this now. I think they actually do change his voice actor in Heavensward. His voice in Heavensward is a little softer. The inflection's a bit different, too.
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Sir Aymeric. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
Taciturn Temple Knight. Lucia, I'm sorry.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination.
That isn't a bad thing, but it's not fascination. That's not the word you should be using there.
Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
He's a little obsessed with the Warrior of Light.
Guardians will return in force ere long.
He's very much a Warrior of Light fanboy.
What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the primal menace. The beast tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean Alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. Their territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare.
Alright, so before I let Alphino stick his foot in his mouth, I'm going to say this, because this is actually a huge point for what's going on in Ishgard. This Dravanian conflict, that's their war against the dragons, also known as the Dragon Song War. Now, that particular conflict has been generational over thousands of years. 1,000 years? Thousands of years? We'll go with thousands of years just because. And to be entirely frank about it, it is a much more dangerous conflict than any other conflict that has been faced by anywhere else in Eorzea. For Ishgard to say they just simply do not have the political will or the soldiers to spare, they aren't kidding. Like, there is a good reason they've done this. They're just really shit at explaining it.
As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Fortin has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Yeah, see, this is the whole point of Aymeric at this point, is he's kind of like the man in the chair, or kind of like the shadow ally you have. He's still playing by the rules of his nation, but he's still going to help you.
Sir Aymeric, we would be in your debt.
Like, he knows the limits and restrictions that he has to operate within, and he's going to do it. So you gotta give the guy some like mad props for that. Yeah, he's kind of a back scratcher, yeah.
No, you would not, for I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard Sorma.
Alright, so divination, but not quite. Their astrologians can not really see the future per se, but they can read the stars to understand what is happening and what will happen, or not really what will happen, but what may happen with the highest probability of happening.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions.
Also, keep in mind, Alphino, that such an agreement is still a step in the right direction. This is like the first time Ishgard has actually come to an agreement with anyone outside of Ishgard. For anything.
Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this?
The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked.
I also like how they've got chainmail around their ears.
It was Iceheart, my lord.
I mean, it makes sense that they would, but at the same time, it's just kind of funny.
What? By the Fury! All our precautions were for naught?
Is that... yeah, it's tank. Yeah, I mean, they could bend them in underneath helmets. I mean, yes, that would be uncomfortable as hell. Okay. All right, I have to go talk to... That airship is too big. All right, we are going to go and go do some sleuthing. My little helicopter airship. This is actually still one of my favorite mounts in the game. Emphasis on one of. I think the Gwivers are probably my favorite mounts. Them and the Mecha Dragon. I also like the birds, like the elemental birds. All right, off to Observatorium. I think next week I'm going to play on my main and do some dailies. They spoke of Shiva. Saint Shiva. Right. Do. Hey, Schwanky, how's it going? Welcome in. So far, so good. Just grinding my way through the content between A Realm Reborn and the Heavensward expansion. Which is probably the worst part of this game. Still decent, but the worst part of the game. See, the thing is, it can be fun. The problem is that it just drags on for certain things that it has no business dragging on about. And they made this part shorter than it used to be. This used to be over 200 quests. Now it's just under 150. And that's the stuff after the main game and before the expansion. So all the patch content. Yeah, the ARR slog, as we like to call it. This particular part of the game, by the way, is the part where most people fall off. It's like, if you don't love the game, or you don't know people who play it, you're probably going to stop playing right around here. Shiva was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who lay down with dragons. I'm just going to leave that there for a moment. This is Final Fantasy XIV. So this is the MMO. This is this is one of the two subscription ones. Honestly, absolutely worth playing. And the best part is, you don't need to play any other Final Fantasy to get into this. It's its own thing. There are some references and callbacks to other games, but if you've never played them, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, and the trial goes all the way to the end of the second expansion, and it does not have a time limit. Yeah, it's the base game and the Heavensward and Stormblood expansions with no time limit. The best part of this game, like if you get hung up on the story, one of the best parts of this game is you don't need to make multiple characters. One character can be everything. Honestly, start with this one. Like, you can just get the free trial and play the free trial all the way through to the end of Stormblood, and there's no time limit on it. You can play it for as long as you want. Yeah, actually, so after I finish this dialogue bit, I'm going to show you something. All right. Doop. Give me 1 second here. This is my main character. This is the character that I started playing this game with 12 years ago. Actually, no. It isn't. They have done some graphics upgrades to it, but it isn't really all that stressful on a PC. Like, this can be run on a computer from about 6 or 7 years ago, no problem. Hell, it could probably be run on a computer older than that. All right, so why I wanted to do this is I wanted to... So you can just change classes as you will. So Sage, which is a healer. Dark Knight, which is my favorite tank. Monk. Dragoon. Sniper. So you can play as any class in the game on one character. So you don't need to make multiple characters. Heck, to be honest, I didn't even need to make a second character to do a beginner playthrough, because they've implemented a function in the game called New Game Plus. You don't get experience for it, but you can go back and play through the entire game with the character you already have, and it adjusts you to that level as you go. Now, classes. As you can see, I've got all my combat classes, every single one except Blue Mage. We will not talk about Blue Mage at level 100. I refuse to play Blue Mage. I have a couple reasons why. The concept of Blue Mage is amazing. The way they implemented it is crap. And then on the crafters and gatherers, I have 10 levels to go on each one of them. I'm level 90 crafter and level 90 gatherer of every kind. So you can, like I said, you can do everything with a single character. The first rule about mages, we don't talk about blue mages. You know what? Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's what I wanted to flip over to this character to show, is that you can be everything. I don't think I have all the gear to be all the different classes, but I've got most of it. Astrologian. It's my favorite class. My favorite healing class, I should say. But my actual favorite class is Dark Knight. And I can also change what my outfit looks like. Boop. The funny thing too is, like, this character is short. Like, she's max height. Max height dragon girl. She's tiny. Let's see. The common outfit that I tend to wear with Dark Knight, it's actually been this one. Yeah. So when you choose another class to play, that class starts at, I'm not going to say level 1 because it's not true of all classes, but it will start at the level you pick that class up at, or it will start at level 1. So what I mean by that is all the original classes. So Pugilist, Gladiator, Thaumaturge, Conjurer, why can't I remember the name? Arcanist. They all start at level 1. Lancer, Archer. Then Rogue, you can get at level 10, but it also starts at level 1. Then, after that, and I'm going in order of release, not in order of availability, but then came Machinist, Dark Knight, Astrologian. They start at level 30. So when you get them, they start at level 30. And then there's Samurai and Red Mage. When you get them, they start at level 50. And the reason you can get them at level 50 is that you can actually pick them up when you hit level 50. Then you get Dancer and Gunbreaker at level 60. And then, shit, what's level 70? I forget. But yeah, different classes unlock at different levels. And like the later classes, they start at the level that you unlock them at. Yep, Dancer, Samurai, Marauder, which is a pirate tank, or warrior. Gunbreaker, which is, you use a gunblade as your weapon. Dancer, you actually use chakrams. And then Samurai. Right, Reaper. That was the class I was trying to remember. There's Reaper. Complete with a scythe. When Reaper released, it was the most popular class. I didn't enjoy it that much. I don't mind it now, but I much prefer Viper. I much prefer, for DPS, I much prefer Viper. And then Ninja. Actually, do I have... do I not have the glamour for Ninja? Ah, here it is. Yeah, my usual Ninja getup. Yeah, there are a ton of options. You can get a machinist. I can't use a machinist right now because I don't have a gun on me. But yeah, if you like guns, machinist is the way to go. They also can summon robots and shit to do fights. No. So there are no skill trees. Like, you don't have to worry about like talenting stuff and improving things that way. Like, you just, as you go through the game and you hit certain levels, you go back to your class trainer to do a class quest to get a skill, but you don't have to put points into it. And the skills just upgrade on their own as you go. So they've actually streamlined a lot of that. There are no best builds because there's no way to build your class, your ninja differently than I build mine. The difference is going to be how good you are at your rotation and how good your gear is. And then my gathering outfit, complete with a wide-brimmed sun hat. Yes, she's very scantily clad, but because I can also go when you're going fishing, it actually is kind of nice. 15? Oh, hell, way more than that, man. And then my crafting outfit. So if I'm crafting, although I kind of want to change my crafting outfit. I think I'm going to go do that now. Yeah, Final Fantasy XIV's endgame, like we call it Fashion Fantasy. Once you've hit the endgame, it is straight up Fashion Fantasy 14. Also, as you go through the game, you can get orchestrion roles. So if you get player housing or you go to the inn, you can change your the background that's playing. I think so Trials. Black Wolf Stalks Again, one of my favorite songs. That's a better crafting outfit. So, this song that you're hearing right now, I don't know how well you can hear it. This plays during a raid fight. This is the fight during one of the boss battles. Davin and I used to do this boss fight so much. And this plays in the second phase. There is a chance for it to drop after the boss fight. And when it drops, you're rolling against 8 other people to get it. So I got super lucky to get this one. Let's see, where's another one? Song of the Ancients. Ah. See if you recognize this. Just wait. You'll recognize this in a moment. If you haven't figured it out now, So this isn't from Final Fantasy. That's the best part. This is Weight of the World from Nier Automata. This was actually a remixed version of the song for this game. David! How's it going, man? So, in this game, in Shadowbringers, one of the raids you do is actually Nier Automata. And the creator of Nier Automata said that the raid content that they have in Final Fantasy XIV is canon to Nier. So the raid you do in Final Fantasy XIV is part of Nier's canon. Alright. I will yap at you after stream. Yeah, so by extension, that means that it is canon that the World of Eorzea Final Fantasy and Nier Automata happen in the same universe. Which actually reminds me, I want to show you something. Let's see. No. Should be Tomura, I think. Kalusia. Yes. Burb. Yes, there is, and no, it doesn't. There's actually several dragon mounts. Alright, so I came here deliberately to show you this. This is Yorha Command. This is what happens to it. I remember when they released this raid, it was the most fucking epic thing ever. It was great. Davin's not the biggest fan of it, but that's okay. He's wrong. Alright, let's see. Mounts. Let's see what I got for mounts that you might be interested in. So you might actually like this. This is one of the dragon mounts. The Gwyber. There's actually big dragon mounts as well. And there's this one. I've got the light one and the dark one. And other mounts that I have that are also pretty awesome. This one you get if you get enough friends. If you give out your friend code and you get enough people that are friends joining the game, you can get this, which is another dragon. Do a barrel roll. Which isn't actually a barrel roll. So it's funny you mentioned that. They used to be a lot stiffer. So with the latest expansion, they actually added mount tilting and mount lean when you turn. They never used to. Let's see. Today I say, no, I'm not going to worry about that one. Let's see, where are we? Okay, here's another dragon. Like, classic dragon. There's also the Rathalos from Monster Hunter. You can actually, they did a Monster Hunter collab and you can get the Rathalos. I don't have it. I haven't farmed it. I should. I also have a 4-person mount. So there can actually be 4 people in this. This is the car from Final Fantasy 15. And it can fly. I like how it transforms, too. Yeah, you have the space whale. Let's see. I've actually got... where was it? I've also got a motorcycle. Yeah, he has a space whale. There's no better way to describe it. I am not a fan of the fact that this thing can fly, by the way. It's kind of dumb. But, you know, it is what it is. Ooh, yes. So, this wonderful little guy. So this little motorcycle airship thing. It's also a submarine. Let me show you. This is one of my favorite mounts. I think it's Ankoro. And I like it just because it's versatile. So, oh, hey, look, ocean. Dive. And see, now it's got a bunch of propellers. It's got 4 propellers. So, the thing is that you can use any mount in any area. It's just some of them look better than others. Like, I can also just swim. But, you know, any mount can be used. Like, you know, got my bird underwater. And it acts like it's flying. But, to be fair, the submarine just looks better. Yeah, it all comes back to how it looks. I told you, it's fashion fantasy, man. True, Aquaburb would make more sense. Where is my Aquaburb? No, it's not the White Lantern. No, it is the white one, okay. Waterburb. There are also, so if you collect all the mounts from each expansion, there's also special mounts you can get. That's the way to do it. So if you collect all the birds from Heavensward, you get this thing. If you get the horses from the base game, you get a Kamui. And if you get all the doggos, or sorry, that was a Kirin. You already get the Kamui. If you get all the dogs from Stormblood, you get this. The Magitech armor is also a good mount. Okay, I'm gonna flex this one a bit because I can. The Gilded Magitech armor. And then if you can make it fly, it lifts up its legs and goes into a bit of like a flying mode. And then there's this thing. Shark mount. I actually have another shark too, and it's not a mount. It's a little minion, so it's a little pet, and I call it the Shark Tato because it looks like a potato. It's the Shark Potato. It's the Shark Tato. And then, last but not least, the angry potato. It's the angry potato. It's too hard not to laugh at how adorable it is. So while I'm here, let me check something real quick. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. Let's see. What is my actual favorite minion? I don't really know if I have a favorite minion. We'll go with Puff of Darkness. Okay, so best tips for someone starting out is, honestly, just follow the main story quest. You don't need a lot of gear. You will get most of what you need as you go. And in the trial version, you can't really trade with anybody. So they made it in a way that it's really easy to get the stuff that you need as you go through the game. If you find that you're having gear issues, you can just keep running dungeons, and you can get gear really fast because you're actually guaranteed a gear drop at the end of each dungeon that is suitable for your class. They implemented that a while back, so every time you run a dungeon, you kill the last boss, no matter what else drops, you will always get a piece of equipment for your class. And it will never give you a duplicate if you already have a piece of that gear. It will give you a different piece of that gear set. So yeah, gearing up in this game is not super difficult. As long as you stick to the main story quest, you'll unlock everything. And that is the thing, like, the only way stuff unlocks in this game is through the main story quest and doing quests that have blue exclamation marks. So if you come across something that looks like it's got like a blue mark and then for the exclamation mark, that's also almost always an unlockable. But the main scenario quest also unlocks pretty much everything you need. However, well, we've got ads coming up here. Damn it! I was gonna pause those. So, you know what? I'm gonna wait here a sec. I'm gonna wait for ads to finish, and then we're gonna wrap up for tonight because I'm dumb. I should have paused my ads. So we're gonna pop over into here. All right. Now, since I've got everyone here, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do some shout-outs. It's French. I don't know French. You know, in Canada, I've been getting some weird commercials too. You'd think I would get French commercials, but I don't. All right, you're free. Woo! Okay, so before I end for the night, I want to do this. So I'm gonna do a shout out for a good friend of mine, Hina. If you haven't already, please do give her a follow. She streams Wednesday through Sunday. And yeah, good. Like I said, good friend of mine, actually was the first person to ever follow my channel way back in the day. Well, not way back in the day. I've only been doing this for a year, so. Well, yeah, when I first started, she was the first person that started following me, and yeah, has yet to miss a stream. That's right. I forgot you're in Canada, just like me. Yeah, I am in the annoying province of Alberta. Too many people want this place to be Texas. It ain't Texas. It's barely even Montana. See, what's funny is I used to live in BC. And honestly, if I ever get the chance, I would absolutely go back. But unfortunately, Alberta is very inexpensive. So, at least comparatively speaking, BC's stupid pricey. But I grew up there. I grew up in the Lower Mainland. Anyways, so yeah, bring cash. Yeah. Before I wrap up for tonight, I know I've talked about this a few times already during the week. I am going to mention it as well because I know you're here, Schwanky. In August, at the very end of August, Super Robot Wars Y releases. I will be streaming that every day that I stream, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. And I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway every week, starting September 5th. And I will be giving away a game code every week for Super Robot Wars Y. I will release more details on that as I go. And I've already got my promo image ready to go for 2 weeks before release. And yeah, so I just want to throw that out there. Now, no, I am not sponsored. I'm doing all this because it is one of my favorite game series, and I want to share it with people. That is the whole point I'm doing it. So week 1, so September 5th, is going to be a draw for the standard edition of the game. Then on the 12th, it will be the deluxe edition. And on the 19th, it will be the ultimate edition. And I've got 1 key for each. So that is a thing to look forward to. Another thing I'm going to mention, and I had mentioned this previously when yapping with Gally and Nichis earlier, is when I reach Heaven's Ward content in Final Fantasy XIV, I'm going to put the game back on the back burner. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from it, which I should get there before the end of August, which is fine. And I will replace my Final Fantasy XIV streams with Tales of Xillia 1. Because I did start a playthrough of that about a year ago. I never finished it. So I'm going to finish that. Then I'm going to get into Xillia 2. Ooh, carpentry. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, there will be an announcement of the rules and how to join. You don't have to watch the streams per se. Obviously, I would prefer if people did, because I would like people to see what these games are all about. Because it's more than just robots. I mean, that is a big part of it, but it isn't all of it, you know? So that's how that's gonna. That's. I've worked out most of the details of how I'm gonna do it. So. Yeah. So Tales of Xillia will replace Final Fantasy XIV before, in theory, Super Wars Y, and then when I finish my playthrough of Super Wars Y, I will go back to Tales of Xillia on Tuesdays, or Wednesdays. Probably going to be doing Fridays again as collab nights. If Hina and I have a collab game that we want to do. Otherwise, I'm going to try and figure out something else for that. And then Sundays and Tuesdays will be my usual mecha games. But that is probably going to not happen until October. Because Super Wars Y is going to be a long-ass game. And I say this because Super Wars 30, which this game takes a lot of cues from, was also very long. So before the expansion released for Super Wars 30, Super Wars 30 was just over 100 hours of gameplay. When they released the expansion, it was about 150, 130, 140, somewhere there. So I expect Super Wars Y to probably be about 80 to 100 hours of gameplay. And I'm also going to do 2 playthroughs of it. So I'm going to play at the highest difficulty, or highest of the regular difficulties. Because there's also usually challenge difficulties you can do, but I'm going to go highest of the regular difficulties. Play through as probably the female character first, because there's a female lead and a male lead. And then second playthrough, which will be a new game plus of the same difficulty, going to go through as the male. And probably make different choices on the different routes that you can take, because there's usually route differences. Certain missions are usually, typically in a Super Wars game, only available to certain choices you make. So, which also means that certain units and certain characters will be available on different routes. So it's going to be a bit of a long haul in terms of streaming. So like I said, they're long games, but it'll be fun. And when I'm done all that, we're going to go back to a regular streaming schedule for me. So, but like I said, that is the end of August, so we still got time. Probably close to 2 months between now and then. So until then, Sunday and Tuesday, still going to be SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays. I don't foresee myself having a ton of time after I finish that game before, to break out into a new game before Super Wars Y comes out. I'll figure out what I'm going to do about that when I get there. And then Wednesdays will still be Final Fantasy XIV for the foreseeable future. Until, again, like I said, I hit Heaven's Ward. We'll deal with that when I get there. And Fridays are right now Division 2 collab nights until Super Wars Y releases. So, and there you have it. That's what to expect from me for the short term. All right. Now, let's see who we can raid today. Who is on? Also, Schwanky, if you haven't, you can grab my Discord invite from there, because I every time I go live, the notification goes up there. I mean, you'll probably get the notification through Twitch normally, but hey, sometimes notifications are a little slow. Not to mention, if you feel like just yapping with myself and anyone who's in the community, by all means. We aren't the most active, unfortunately. I mean, the joys of having a small community. But when we are active, oh boy, we're active. All right. Let's see who we can raid out to tonight. I know Hina's on, but she's probably going to be wrapping up pretty soon. See Quinn the Cat's on. See Cinna's there. Asvidi's on. Do I want to go hang out with Asvidi? I think we'll go hang out with Asvidi. No, you know what? I know who we're going to go hang out with. It's been a little bit since I've raided them. And, I think they'll be pretty happy to see us showing up. We're going to go raid Humstorm. We're going to go pop in and say hi to the Space Goblin, who is currently a cat. Now, I do have a raid message. I should actually set up a command for it, but right now, boop, there's the raid message. Anyways, thank you guys for coming out tonight. It was good seeing all of you. I will be back on Friday with Hina for Division 2. I've also got my buddy Mitch joining us, and in theory, Davin will be joining us as well. And I say in theory because sometimes, shit happens. So there you have it. I will be seeing all of you Friday night. You all have a good night, and I will catch all of you later.